What kind of company do you really want to be associated with? Do you want to be part of a good company, or do you really want to be part of a great company? Now, if you're like me, you'd certainly want to be a part of a great company. And if, like me, you think that currently you're not, let me show you a couple of ways that you may be able to go about fixing that. Now, in his book Good to Great, Jim Collins identified 5 key things that will take a company from being good to being great. Now, one of the things that he identified, and I'm sure you've probably already identified this yourselves, is people. Now, people can mean absolutely anything, but what Jim Collins specifically focused on was making sure that you get the right people. Now, to get the right people, 2 things you're going to need to think of. The first is hire slow and fire quick. Hire slow, don't settle for anybody, get the right person. And what Collins says in his book is that actually you should hire the right person even if you don't have the position for them. So in other words, build the position around the right person. But the other thing he says is fire quickly. Now, I guess that's not always easy in these times where employment contracts are really, really tied in tight in terms of hiring and firing. But if you can get the right people, that will help you become a great company. So let's assume that you've now hired the right people. Just to throw a spanner in the works, here is a really interesting statistic. 28% of professionals will leave a boss rather than a company. Now, when you think about it, that's quite sad, because if you've taken all the time to build a really great company, but somewhere in that company you've got somebody that isn't a particularly effective manager, you're losing all of your good people, or at least a quarter of them, if not more. And that really isn't good for your company. Now, losing people like this is going to cost you in a number of different ways. Obviously, it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you time. The time you spend recruiting, the time you spend advertising, or just contacting a recruitment company. Effort. Every time you take somebody else on, you've got to go to an effort to acclimatise them to your organisation and make sure that they're fitting in and doing whatever it is you need them to do. And at the end of the day, that's going to affect your bottom line. So it really makes good sense to make sure that all of your managers know what they're doing and that they're not causing your employees to leave. But let's say that you've taken all this time to recruit the right managers, the right people, so you really don't want to get rid of anybody if you can really help it. I know I said that you need to fire quick where you need to, but if you think that the manager that's not doing such a great job managing is worth keeping, how are you going to improve their performance? The answer is quite simple. Coaching. The thing about coaching is it's appropriate at any level of an organisation. And when somebody is being coached, they can be concentrating on a specific facet of their management skills, or maybe it's something within their personal lives that's affecting their work performance. And that can help to improve your staff morale. If you've got a manager who's considered to be a bit of an ogre and they're being coached and that's stopping, obviously your staff morale is going to improve, and the only thing that's going to happen there is your productivity is going to go up. So it's a win-win. And of course, it's going to cut your costs on recruiting. You're not going to need to go back to the recruiting company quite as often as you had before to get more of what you consider to be the right people into your organisation. So here's the story. This is what you can do to try and improve your, let's say, managers who aren't performing quite as well as they might, who aren't quite getting as much from their teams as they might be, or your managers who you really want to bring on that bit more quickly. This is for both kinds, so it's for your managers who are maybe underperforming, but it's also for your stars. So here are the numbers that you can call me on. Email me on, or if you need to, you can fill out the contact form on the website that you've just been looking at. Either way, I'll be glad to talk to you about what I can do for you so that I can really improve your management practices and hopefully take your company from good to great. Thank you for listening and have a great day.